Hi champions! How's it going? It's BB, you're watching my RSL channel. Why are all of our champions dead?
Your team's dead.
What happened here? I thought that I had it all set up and figured out. Guys, I'm pushing for stage 16 here. It's just not happening for us. Everyone died. Yeah. Well, while we wait for Arena to refresh and for our energy recharge, let's talk about something that I forgot to talk about. You guys, this is not where the champions end. We're getting more champions on the roster. It's not just Alice that we're chasing for. Look at her. Oh my god. Can't wait to get Alice. It's not just her, and it's not just the fusion Mad Hatter that we're going for here, and this one is turning out to be a little bit of a challenge. It's a little uphill. It's a little... But here, we also have some more champions that dropped with the upload. With the event, I have thoughts.
Scary thoughts.
And I'd like to share them. And before we get into any thought sharing, I'm gonna share some facts.
Facts.
Karato Foxhunter is one of the best legendary champions in the game. He's got a block active skills, he's got a stun and a weekend, and let me cut to the chase. You can get him for free. For free! You can get your hands on your very own Karato Foxhunter for free. As a starter champion, all you have to do is click on that promo link, which you can find in the description box below, and set up a brand new account with Plarium Play. With a new email, with a new account, you hit up my promo link, you go through the tutorial, and Karato should be waiting for you in your inbox when you're done. Start off 2025 with Karato as your starter champion, but also as you level up and progress on that account, as the weeks go by, and as 2025 keeps reaping your fruit, you're gonna unlock 3 completely free epic champions, just like that. A little reward, a little present from Plarium to you for being consistent and grinding. And here, isn't that just the most awesome offer to set up a new account in 2025? But hey, let's talk let's talk the new champions, right? First up, Knave of Hearts. What? Who are you? Where did y'all come up with the designs for these? The hearts everywhere. His beating heart is outside of his body. I need the Knave of Hearts. I don't care what he does.
It's totally useless.
Just purely for the aesthetics, this is one crazy champion, dare I say, a little bit cooler than Cupidus. But hey, something is throwing me off about this. Personally, for me, right? Cupidus is wonderful.
He is coming.
I'm thinking these might be the Queen of Hearts' knights later down the line in the event dungeon. I haven't gotten there, but hey, let's see what he does. It's a double hitter on one enemy, 50% chance of placing a provoke for 1 turn. Each hit also heals the ally with the lowest HP by 3% of this champion's max HP, and it is a max. It's an HP champion. AoE on his A2 as expected. Has a what now? Has a 100% chance of stealing 2 random buffs from each target. Places a 15% continuous heal buff on all allies except himself for 2 turns. Also, a what? A unkillable buff and a taunt on this champion for 2 turns. This is literally Matriarch Zorguna type beat skill, but better.
Steroids.
Because Matriarch Zorguna, I think, attacks all enemies and then just does this. This guy comes with a 100% chance of stealing 2 random buffs from each target. On a 3-turn cooldown, homeboy. What the f? Stout defense. Swaps HP with a target enemy and places a 100% heal reduction on that enemy for 2 turns. This debuff cannot be removed, transferred, or have its duration decreased by enemies. What about stolen? Then equalizes the HP levels of all allies. Don't want to steal a debuff. What am I talking about? Then equalizes the HP levels of all allies. The HP levels of all allies will be brought up to the level of the ally with the highest HP. Also places a 60% increased defense buff on all allies. Great. That's great. Strong increased defense. Equalizer on the HP. Wouldn't Knave of Hearts optimally have the most HP on my... Well, if there's a champion that has more HP than Knave of Hearts, then every single one of my allies will match that HP. Let's see the passive. At the start of this champion's turn, fully restore... What? Fully restores this champion's destroyed max HP. When attacked, destroys the attacker's max HP by 20% of the damage received. Stacks up to 50%.
50?
That's absolutely nuts. 30% increase ally HP aura. Great stuff. Knave of Hearts is ginormous. OP. Force. That means that you can potentially pull him from a legendary shard.
Wait, what?
Sacred shard, bro. Thank God I'm catching myself sometimes saying absolute nonsense.
Correct.
There was another one. Let me just check the index really quickly. It was in the news.
One eternity later.
That's it. That's the, yeah. Wow, what? Am I missing something? I don't remember this guy being a part of the Alice in Wonderland universe. Am I tripping?
You be tripping.
Who is this supposed to represent? Some knight, probably. He's a defense tank. It looks like a tank. Probably is a tank. Lohan Clef. Attacks one enemy. 80% chance of, well, 100% once booked out. Wait, booked out? Of placing a 25% weaken for 2 turns. Cannot be resisted if the target has attacked this champion before this turn. Huh, cool.
Cool.
The HP levels of all allies will be brought up to the level of the ally with the highest HP. Yeah. The turn meter levels of all allies will be brought up to the level of the ally with the highest turn meter. So a little bit of a step up there from the Knight of Hearts. The HP levels of all enemies will be brought down to the level of the enemy with the lowest HP. That's really bad. The turn meter levels of all, yeah, same with the turn meter will be brought down to the level of the enemy with the lowest turn meter. And then taunt. I have a feeling that this guy and the previous guy might be the Queen of Hearts' supports.
We gotta support each other.
Am I right in assuming that? It's scary, you guys. It sounds like there's a synergy going on here with the Knight of Hearts and Lohan, because this skill is identical. It's almost identical. Finality disc. Wait, faction? He's a faction champion. Oh my god, I just saw that he's a the Unity champion. Yeah, Knights Revenant they didn't used to have it, I think. Attacks one enemy before attacking, transfers all debuffs from this champion to the target, and heals this champion by 10% of their max HP. Heals by an additional 10% of their max HP for each debuff transferred. We'll always use this skill instead of the default when counter-attacking. Oh my...
What do you mean?
What do you mean we'll always use this skill instead of the default one? When does he counter-attack?
Let's see.
For one faction ally, the Unity champion removes all buffs from the target enemy. This effect cannot be resisted if the target has attacked this champion before his turn! Will attack all remaining enemies with less than 30% HP for 2 faction allies. Wow. This attack will ignore 100% of each target's defense, cannot be critical, and definitely doesn't lack in audacity. What do you mean?
What do you mean?
For 3 faction allies, this skill deals 100...
Say that again?
This skill deals 100% more damage to the enemies who have attacked this champion before this turn. So, I guess you attack this champion and you get smacked out of existence. What is this passive? Every time this champion loses 25% HP or more from a single hit, places a block damage buff on the champion for 1 turn. For one faction ally, he has a 15% chance of placing a true fear debuff on the attacker for a turn, irresistible. For 2 faction allies, the defense effects against this champion are decreased by 100%, and for 3 faction allies, he has a 20% chance of activating an instant turn effect on himself whenever attacked.
Pretty good.
Defense in all battles by 25%, resistance in all battles by 60%. For Knights Revenant's aura. What a crazy champion. This is a scary, scary champion to face. And I got pressed or triggered about it as if I am currently forced to fight him. Moving on, we have the Queen of Hearts, which I was very curious to fight the other day. Where was she? Was she Knights? Yeah, there she is. She's a void, you guys. Queen of Hearts is unpullable. You cannot pull her from any shards. From what I saw,
But
we might get a prison deal on one of these, and you might, I don't know. Why would she be in the game if I can't pull her, Plarium? We're gonna go over her skills very quickly because I've already been through this once. She has an AoE on her A1 and a strong decrease defense debuff for 2 turns, and also fills the turn meters of all allies by 5. Removes all buffs from all enemies, and then death brands you and places a true fear on all enemies for 1 turn. By death brands you, I don't mean you as the watcher, the viewer. I meant your initial target, and fills this champion's turn meter by 5 for each buff removed by this skill. Q teams up with all allies to attack a single enemy before attacking, places a strong increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. Decreases the cooldown of this champion's off with their heads. This one is the second one skill. If the target is killed by 2 turns, what did I just say? For every 10 buffs the enemy team receives, she gets an extra turn. And if there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, only one will activate. Increase accuracy. in all battles by 70. Okay, let that sink in.
That's 70% if you're lucky.
Now, I need you to tell me why they decided to make the Cheshire Cat the demon spawn.
The Cheshire Cat!
Who in their right mind? This was the biggest curveball for 2025 the Raid could give it to us. We were all so sure that we're gonna be some sort of skinwalker. Right at the very least, I did not expect the demon spawn. The way that the Cheshire Cat grinds his teeth petrifies me, but I'm digging the character design. They really kept it as close to the original as possible.
I like it.
The tail, it's what gets to me. It's so long, I can't even... Oh my god. I love the design, though it was very big bait. But here, let's see what Cheshire Cat does.
Oh, Cheshire Cat, it's you!
No, before I've even read it, I skimmed over it, but this cat has to be a Veiler, right? So I'm very pleased to see it right here. Attacks one enemy if this champion is under a Veil or Perfect Veil. Attacks all enemies instead. Places a Perfect Veil buff on this champion for 1 turn. Damage based on speed! This is the first time I'm seeing something like this. I don't know if any of the previous champions had that. I didn't even see. But this I immediately saw. Damage based on speed? This is new. Exciting.
How exciting.
Veil is great. Attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit will decrease the enemy's speed by 1. Stacks up to 10%.
10.
This effect does not work against bosses. Each hit will also increase this champion's speed by 1%. Stacks up to 10%. So if you take the speed up to 200, how many hits does the Cheshire Cat get in a single turn?
Why is math so hard?
If this skill kills an enemy, places a Perfect Veil on this champion, and they ally with the lowest turn meter for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. Again, damage based on attack and speed, absolutely insane. What are these Giga-Rig mechanics, bro? These mechanics make me excited.
You're welcome.
Attacks all enemies, AoE. Before attacking, places a Perfect Veil buff and a 50% increase attack buff on this champion for 2 turns. Grants an extra turn if this attack kills an enemy. Again, attack and speed. 4-turn cooldown, only 2 books to book it out. This champion is continuously under some sort of veil. It's under some sort of coverage. Very sneaky indeed, and very thematic, very lore accurate. Shadow Smile. Passive. If this champion is under a Veil or Perfect Veil, turn meter fill effects are 30% more effective. Also, if this champion is under a Veil or Perfect Veil, this champion's attacks will ignore 15% of the target's defense and inflict 15% more damage. Active is whenever this champion is about to receive a hit, they will drop their HP below 20%, blocks the incoming damage, and places a block damage and a Perfect Veil buff on this champion for 1 turn. He's unkillable.
He is unstoppable.
We have a Veil here, a Veil here, absolute speed god. Veil here, attacks all enemies if someone is under a veil. If this champion is under a veil, not someone.
The Veil.
So that's an AoE, it's not even an A1. A1 maybe in the beginning, unless you have him cast that first. And then someone steals it from him, in which case he can bring it back. So in most cases, Face Claw will always be an AoE. A continuous AoE. That's crazy. Increases ally speed in all battles by 19%. It almost feels like it should have been a little more. You know what I mean? Increases ally speed in all battles by 19%. 19% is almost as much as... Was it High Katoon? 19%, I was right. So, those are all the champions, the new ones. Let's see who we can't pull. We can't pull the Queen of Hearts, and we can't pull... Yeah, Lohan, Kaleth, and Alice the Wanderer. Why can't we pull Lohan? What kind of boss is he? I don't know, and I'm afraid to find out. But I will, inevitably. Well, you guys, it's time to pop some of these energy potions, and then I'm thinking I'm just gonna immediately go ahead and pop at least 110k. Just because... Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. This is my struggle. This is my pain. We currently have... You know what? I'm not gonna stress out tonight. I'm just gonna chill. As I'm wondering how I'm gonna split that many XP brews into 2 events and so many damn champions. Yeah, totally no pressure. I'm actually cooking alive. It's just a lot of tournaments. Artifact enhancement, dungeon divers, champion training. Stop it. Anyway, let's go ahead and just use some brews first. And we're going back in here. And I'm gonna keep pushing for stage 16, you guys. Alright. Catch you guys again in the next one. Bye!